Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the special council meeting on tonight, the 21st of October. I'll get straight into the program. We've got some exciting committees and elections to get underway. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the town of Bassendean acknowledges that the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation as the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to elders past and present and acknowledge their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the region. The only announcements I would like to make as the presiding person for this part of the meeting is the fact that there was a small error in the agenda that went out online where the item number 7 on the agenda was missing. We actually do have questions from the public tonight as a standing item, so when we get to item 7 I will ask for questions from the public. We move on to section 3 of the agenda, attendance, apologies and applications for leave of absence. And firstly, I would just like to acknowledge all of our councillors here tonight, and particularly our new councillor Hayden Young and also Hayden Long, and for the returning those returning councillors. We have present JP Renee McLennan present with us tonight. Thank you, Renee. Our returning officer Janine Brown is here with us tonight to assist. All staff would like to acknowledge our new Corporate Services Director, Amanda Alderson, who takes on the role now that we've had our Paul White recently depart for the City of Perth. And I'd also like to welcome the Finance Manager here tonight, Waruni, who's going to assist with any finance questions later on in the program. For those guests, welcome, ex-Councillor Wilding and family. Great to see you here, and guests, thanks for assisting tonight and making this this occasion special for those people that you represent. Now, I would ask for any apologies, and given that we're all present, I don't think that we have any apologies. Leave of absence. I have had an email this week from a Councillor Carter for the November OCM on Monday the 20th, the 10th. The email came in yesterday, so I do have one leave of absence at present. Is there any more? Thank you. I'll take that as there are no more leave of absence. Declarations of interest. I'll ask councillors if they have any interest in anything on the agenda tonight. I'll take that as a no, thank you. There won't be any presentations or deputations at a special council meeting. There is no statements by the members of the public tonight. There is, however, an opportunity for questions from the public from the gallery tonight. At 12 o'clock today, we had no questions from the public through our system, so there are no questions on notice. So I will now stop and ask if there's any member of the public that would like to ask a question. And given our lecterns here tonight, I'll ask you to come up the front. There is the opportunity to ask at least 2 questions and 3 minutes. Baby down the back looks very excited. Okay, yes. Okay, so I'll take that as item 7. There are no questions from the public. That now gets us to section 8, which is the start of the reports. And the first order of business tonight is the swearing in of the new councillors. And I will call on the JP Renee McLennan to assist tonight in the swearing in of the 4 new councillors. The process tonight will be that I'll call councillors in alphabetical order, and they will stand, make their way to Renee McLennan, and they will take the oath, and we'll flow through from that. So, Councillor Carter, would you like to start? Thanks, Renee.
Congratulations, Councillor Carter. Thank you very much. If you would mind reading the oath of declaration into the microphone clearly for everybody.
Thank you. I, Jenny Carter of Bassendean, having been elected to the... Do I have to put my address there? Yeah. Having been elected to the office of Councillor of the town of Bassendean, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district, according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the town of Bassendean under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
Thank you, Councillor Carter, and congratulations. Could everyone join me? Now, Councillor Carter, we do need you to sign a declaration. We're just waiting for the copies, so we'll do that in a moment. But for now, if you'd like to take your seat, and I'd like to call up Councillor Hamilton. Congratulations on your re-election. And just like Councillor Carter, just reading and serving your name.
I, Catherine Ann Hamilton of Bassendean, having been elected to the office of councillor for the town of Bassendean, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the town of Bassendean under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995. Thank you.
Congratulations, Councillor Hamilton, and join me in congratulating her. And Councillor Long, congratulations on your election. It's the first time you've done this.
It is the first time.
I'm sure you'll manage.
I, Hayden Alexander Long of Bassendean, having been elected to the office of councillor of the town of Bassendean, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district and according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the town of Bassendean under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
Congratulations. And finally, Councillor Polifka. Congratulations.
Thank you. You can hear me at the back, Henrik? I, Paul Nikolai Polifka of 193 West Road, Bassendean, having been elected to the office of councillor of the town of Bassendean, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and I will observe the code of conduct adopted by the town of Bassendean under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Renee. That brings us to 8.2 on the agenda tonight, which is the election of the mayor and then the deputy mayor. With the election of the mayor, I will be calling for nominations, given that I haven't had none in writing prior to the meeting. So I will now pause and call for nominations from the floor for the meeting. Councillor Carter?
Thank you, Mr Woods. I nominate Kath Hamilton as mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Hamilton, do you accept the nomination?
I do. Excuse me, Mr CEO, could the councillors use the microphones?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Do you need me to repeat that?
No, I think I've got it, thank you. But
And yes, I do accept the nomination. Thank you.
thank you. So Councillor Carter has, for the record, the minutes, Councillor Carter has nominated Councillor Hamilton. Councillor Hamilton has accepted. I call for any further nominations. Councillor Ames?
Yeah, thank you, Mr Wood. I'd like to nominate myself for the office of mayor.
Thank you. Do you accept it? Well done. Any more nominations from the floor for the position of mayor? No? Okay. On that basis, there won't be preferential voting because there's only the two delegates. I will now close nominations. Those councillors that have been nominated for the position of mayor and the nominees, I will now ask to speak before we vote. We are speaking for 5 minutes each. I will use alphabetical order at this stage, so we'll go with Councillor Ames and then Councillor Hamilton. And then following the 5 minutes presentation by each, we'll conduct the vote. And I'll be using, the returning officer will assist with the voting. So without any further ado, I think Councillor Ames, could you come to the lectern? And when you're ready, I'll start the timer.
we're here. We're all loud and clear. Fantastic. Good evening, Mr. CEO, fellow councillors, and everyone in attendance this evening. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge and sincerely thank our past Mayor, Kath Hamilton, and previous Deputy Mayor, Paul Falifka. Their leadership, dedication, integrity during their recent terms of holding such office have guided our council through an important period of renewal and progress. They've strengthened our culture of good governance, unity and accountability. And I want to express my deep respect and appreciation for the platform they've built for all of us to continue to serve our community in a very, very well-deserved manner. Since being elected myself personally in 2021, I've treated this role as both a privilege and a duty to serve the people of Bassendean with transparency, integrity, and more importantly, action. Over these past 4 years, I've worked hard to understand our town's challenges and our opportunities, to take the time to listen to residents, engage with our community, and to make balanced, well-informed decisions that consider both the present, but most importantly, our future. Over the past 12 months, I took a further step in my professional development as a councillor and completed the Diploma of Local Government for elected members through WALGA, the highest AQF qualification that any elected member can complete. This further qualification has strengthened my knowledge of local government legislation, of governance, and most importantly, financial management, ensuring that I can help lead this council with a clear understanding of our obligations under the Local Government Act of 1995. Under Section 2.8 of our Local Government Act, the Mayor's role is to provide leadership and guidance to the council and council members by promoting, facilitating, and supporting positive and constructive working relationships among our council members, to obviously preside over our council meetings, ensure good governance, to speak on behalf of the local government, to liaise with our CEO, and to carry out civic and ceremonial duties. My personal and professional experience in leading high-performance teams speaks for itself in both the public and the private sectors, and I'd now like to bring this experience to my civic duties. These responsibilities require someone who can listen and relate to people, communicate clearly, and look for the win-win opportunities within our town, whilst being guided with what's best for our long-term sustainability within our town. As you may have known, outside the council, I've been operating a successful small business, and in the past 6 months, commenced a career to serve in the community as a firefighter. Roles built on teamwork, leadership, gathering of vital information, and service under pressure. In these environments, there's no room for ego, there's no room for indecision. You rely on your team, communicate clearly, and you make calm, evidence-based choices that protect, more importantly, celebrate each other. That mindset transfers directly into civic leadership, and it's about leading with composure, developing and building relationships with community stakeholders, and staying focused on the outcomes that have a positive effect on future generations. As Mayor, I will continue to listen and advocate for this community and remain focused on working collaboratively to ensure Bassendean remains financially responsible and sustainable. That means protecting the ratepayer's dollar, prioritising essential infrastructure, and investing where it delivers genuine community benefit, not just the short-term gain. We have a duty to maintain the financial health of our town so that our future generations inherit a community that is strong, stable, and continues to survive on its own. I'm also deeply committed to strengthening our relationships with our state and federal members and continuing to work collaboratively with all levels of government. By maintaining open and respectful partnerships, we can continue to secure and advocate for major projects, and that will obviously benefit the entire community. If entrusted with the role of Mayor, I'll continue to lead with humility, integrity, and purpose. I will champion the ability to collaborate within this chamber, connect and continue to engage with our community, and build on the great work that's already underway here within the town of Bassendean. Together, we can ensure Bassendean remains a connected, vibrant, and more importantly, a future-focused town. One that honours and promotes its past while embracing the opportunities ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Hamilton.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for attending tonight. Thank you, Councillor Ames, for your thoughtful comments. And it has been a pleasure working with you and the other councillors over the last couple of years. I have to say that we are extraordinarily fortunate in that we have a collaborative environment, a collaborative working environment. And I think my life experience over the last 30 years, managing people, employing people, being on council, engaging with the community, I think that's one of the things that I excel at, in creating an environment where everyone can have their say, they don't feel put down, they feel free to actually articulate their thoughts. And I think this is an advantage on our council compared to some others that we can point at in the other areas where other councils have not been so successful at maintaining relationships. So relationships and maintaining good communication skills with your councillors and your community is essential to the role. A collaborative council is of independent thinkers is also essential. At this time, I believe we're at a vitally important spot that requires continuous leadership as this council progresses towards vital progress. Now, we have had steady progress in the last couple of years. Over the last couple of years, it does take some time to form those connections with state and federal levels, and I think I've done that. I think I have successfully engaged with politicians, as proven by some of our successes in the last election campaign, both federally and state, achieving commitments that this town was lacking in the past. I think that a lot of hard work is required for that sort of progress. Certainly, I don't believe this is a part-time role. I ran my own business, successful business, for many, many years, and when I was elected mayor, I chose to step away from that business. I chose to devote myself fully to the role of mayor. And I can tell you now, it has been a full-time role, perhaps more than a full-time role. The rewards for the job are interesting. Sometimes it is a very rewarding job, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's extremely challenging. I think that I have, in my temperament, managed to navigate the highs and the lows, and I think that is expressed in my re-election. I think many in the community would like to see me continue in this role at least for the next 2 years, because as I said, we are at a crucial spot and we have many, many things ahead of us. And I have no doubt that there are other people around this table who are skilled and can certainly take on the job. But I think at this point in time, I might be best suited to stay in the role whilst we navigate some of the challenges that we've got ahead of us. It's not an easy road. There are multiple challenges ahead of us. And I would request for your support to remain in the role. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Hamilton. Okay, before the returning officer hands out the voting slips, I'll just remind everybody that when making a vote, given there are only 2 candidates, we only need a 1 on the slip for the preferred candidate, no other numbering. And please take your time to vote, but also ensure that the camera or other people can't see you voting, so use your hand to make the vote, to make it as confidential as you can. And then once I see that everybody has finished, I will then ask the returning officer to return to the table and collect the votes and bring them to me, and we'll count them and make an announcement. Thank you. Councillor Hamilton?
May I have a voting slip?
They will be coming around right now. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was them.
Yeah.
Apologies, I thought they'd already been handed out from what I could see around the table. Apologies.
So, returning officer, just to confirm, a tick's satisfactory?
Okay, it appears everybody's finished voting. Thank you, Janine. If you may return those. Thank you. A little box. Seven ballots. We're off to a good start. I'm just going to check they've all been signed by the returning officer before we commence the count. And they've all been completed with one. Oh, there's a tick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, councillors, I will now read out the votes as they come through, obviously with the only two candidates. As soon as one candidate achieves 4 votes, I will declare that candidate as the mayor. There's 1 vote for Hamilton, 1 vote for Ames, 1 vote for Hamilton, 1 vote for Hamilton, 1 vote for Hamilton, 1 vote for Ames, and 1 vote for Ames. 4-3. So I declare Councillor Hamilton the returned mayor. Well done. Now, the swearing in of the mayor will occur before we proceed to the similar process to nominate the deputy. I would now ask Renee to step forward and make a declaration, and the Councillor Hamilton to make a declaration to the office of the mayor.
Congratulations, Mayor Hamilton. Thank you. Once again, we'll need you to sign it at the conclusion when the forms are ready.
I, Catherine Ann Hamilton of Bassendean, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the town of Bassendean, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the town of Bassendean under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995. Thank you.
Congratulations, Councillor Hamilton. I will now ask you to take the chair. Whilst Councillor Hamilton is about to take the chair, I will continue to preside over the nominations for deputy, and then after that process is finished, it will revert back to the mayor being the presiding person. So, moving straight into 8.3, election of the deputy mayor. I have had 1 nomination prior to the meeting from Councillor Burke, who's nominated Councillor Paul Polifka. Councillor Polifka, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, thank you, Mr. CEO.
Thank you. Any further nominations from the floor for position of deputy? Thank you, Councillor Ames.
I'd also like to nominate myself, and I'll accept that as well.
Thank you. Any further nominations? Thank you. So a similar process, given there is only the two nominations, it makes preferential voting null and void. So it'll be a simple tick for some and a number 1 for others in the box, in the voting slip. I'll now ask the returning officer to provide the voting slips for deputy. Councillor Polifka, I will be asking Councillor Ames if you'd like to address, and then obviously it'll be your turn after. But,
Yeah, not a problem.
Yep. It's a pretty hard act to follow your first one, Councillor Ames, but you could just do ditto. We could play it back. Yeah. But I would give the same process, even though Councillor Polifka is going to speak. I'll still ask Councillor Ames if he would like to address his colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woods, and hey, look, I just want to thank everyone for their support within the mayor's role. Not really much to add, but to say that the reason why I stand up here today, the reason why I've stand up here 2 years ago, and the reason why I will do that in 2 years' time is because I have personal aspirations to be able to really be a leader within this town. Born, bred, and more than likely end up somewhere in the ground here in Bassendean. I'd like to really give back to my community after all that it's given me through professional, personal, and obviously civic duties here within the town. So I again ask for your support in regards to the vote for the Deputy Mayor, and I also wish Paul Councillor Polifka all the very best as well. Thank you.
Councillor Polifka.
Hear me? Yeah, okay, excellent. I guess reapplying for the old job of deputy. So, look, I mean, I didn't put my hand up for the mayor because I think in terms of what would be best for the town of Bassendean at this juncture is for me to fill the role of deputy mayor. And I'll tell you why I believe that is. Now, in terms of the approach that I would take, I mean, I could discuss decisions, the past, present, future, but I think it's probably more instructive to talk about the approach that I would take to things. So my lodestar when approaching any council matter is what's in the best interests of the people of the town of Bassendean as a whole. And I guess I emphasise that part being as a whole. So there's a whole lot of decisions that we're constantly asked to make. Sometimes that will be allowing somebody to do something. Sometimes that will be disallowing somebody to do that. Obviously, they can be difficult decisions, but the decisions we're making, we always have to make based on what is in the interests of the residents of the town of Bassendean as a whole. So I think that's how we have to approach things. In terms of fulfilling that role, obviously we'll do so within the bounds of the Local Government Act. If I want to know how to go about something, I'll consult the Act. Pretty much the Bible in local government, and from my day job, I'm fairly handy at interpreting legislation, so that's something I can sort of do in real time. In terms of other things that can be provided to the town in real time, is when we're having discussions with other entities with which we interact. I suppose at this point we might mention our friends at the town of Bayswater. So we've got important relationships that we've been developing and maintaining with our friends over at Bayswater, and we've got that large common enterprise in the EMRC where ourselves and the town of Bayswater are doing great things. Now in terms of also the EMRC, I suppose I said I wouldn't talk about things past, but I've always had an unwavering support for the EMRC. And that, I suppose, stems from other things which I hold, I suppose, precious, the BIC. So there's things which we've developed over a long time. So the MRC 40 years, BIC 100 years. So it is, and echoing what Councillor Ames has said, I mean, we do stand on the shoulders of those that have come before, and I see my role as protecting what we've got. So look, it's always, there will be some decisions which come before us. It's tempting to say, well, let's grab the first opportunity that comes along. But look, I think the town of Bassendean's worth more than that, and we can be quite discerning with the opportunities that we do take up, and similarly as to what we would give up in order to advance some of those opportunities. So I suppose I would see my role as being somewhat of protecting what we've got, and look, obviously we want to advance into the future, and we'll do so in a way that doesn't cause any, I suppose, adverse effects for the town. So I would see my role as analysing things, saying what are the pitfalls, what does the town have to lose, also when the opportunities come along, what does the town have to gain? But I think it's that analytical approach. And look, sometimes myself and the newly elected mayor don't always agree on things, but I mean, it's the independence where we can, I suppose, test each other's ideas, which I think is a healthy relationship which we have had over the past 2 years. And I would think that if I were given the privilege of being the deputy again, that might be how things would progress going forward. In terms of, I suppose, the availability for the role, I mean, those that know would say that, look, I've been able to discharge that duty, and I suppose just draw on the old adage, and you say if you want something done, ask a busy person. So look, I mean, that's the approach that I would take going forward. So look, I'd certainly ask everyone if they could provide their support towards putting me back in that position, which is where I think I can do the best work for the residents of the town of Bassendean as a whole.
Thank you, Councillor Polifka. So now I'll ask the returning officer to circulate the voting slips, and it's the same process. As soon as you have finished, just raise your hand and then we can have those votes returned, and we'll undertake the counting process.
Thanks, Janine.
Voting seems to have finished. I'll call last votes. Yep, so thanks, Janine. You are a lawyer.
Thank you, Janine.
Thank you.
Should I look away?
I don't even think Mr. Rudd could turn this one. Okay, so there are 7 ballots. They have all been signed by the returning officer, so they're correct ballots. I will now call out the votes as they fall. 1 for Councillor Polifka, 1 for Ames, 1 for Polifka, 1 for Polifka, 1 for Ames, 1 for Polifka. That gives him 4, so the tally is 4-3 to Councillor Polifka as Deputy Mayor. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Renee.
Congratulations, Deputy Mayor. And once again, I'll need you to sign it at the conclusion.
Thank you. I, Paul Nikolai Polifka of 193 West Road, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the town of Bassendean, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Code of Conduct adopted by the town of Bassendean under Section 1.04 of the Local Government Act of 1995.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you and congratulations, and thank you to Councillor Ames. Thank you, Renee, for participating in that and helping us through that process, and to the returning officer. Now, my favourite part of the evening. It's a pity there's not more kids in the audience, because we are now going to play Lotto. We are now calling out balls that have a hat to call for numbers. The numbers, Councillor Long, for you, is the fact that it decides where we sit. So the numbers will come out in alphabetical order, 1 to 6. Obviously not 7, because the Mayor sits in this seat, and the seats will be allocated from my right, left to right from the Mayor's chair. So Councillor Long, for instance, is in seat number 1. Now, once we do this process, we are setting ourselves up for the seating for the next 2 years. So, but I don't want people to move from their seat tonight into to their normal seat. We'll just proceed tonight as we are. Next week, when you turn up, there'll be nameplates at your particular station, so you know exactly where to sit. So, thank you. This is for Councillor Ames. Lucky number 3. Councillor Polifka said, yeah. Councillor Burke, number 5. Councillor Carter. Councillor Carter, you don't need to move. The seat, lucky number 6. Councillor Hamilton. Oh, you're not moving. Huh, you got one anyway. I'm not sure you should have been in there.
Don't think I should.
So, Councillor John, you are actually number 1. New councillor, Councillor Long. Lucky number 4. One of the best seats in the house. And Councillor Polifka? Any guesses? Any guesses, Councillor Polifka? And that's why you're a lawyer, number 2. Okay, so that is my favourite part of the evening, as I've said, and the seats are set for the next 2 years. Thank you, ball boys. Thank you, ball girls. Now, apart from the festivities, we are now entering into the business end of the meeting, where we will discuss business, and I'll hand over the chair to the newly elected Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Hamilton.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support. Before we get on to the business that's on the agenda, I would like to call forward our former Councillor Emily Wilding, as we have a little gift from the councillors for you. There we go. Thank you for bringing the little one, the trainee councillor. Councillor Wilding, did you want to just say 1 or 2 words very quickly?
Should I say them here at the
moment?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor, and it's a pleasure to get to say that one last time. The last 4 years I've just been so grateful for to have community put their trust in me. It's just the most amazing privilege. Being on council has been the greatest personal and professional development that I have done in my entire life. And it's something I really hope to return to in the future. I'm obviously a little bit busy at the moment, but it has been an incredible experience. And friendship, for being such fantastic colleagues, and for everyone's trust. Thank you very much.
Well done, Emily.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mr. CEO, for indulging us with that little gift-giving ceremony. Now we move on to item 8.5, which is the appointment of delegates and representatives to external organisations and committees of council. The purpose of this report is for council to appoint delegates and representatives on external committees and organisations for a 2-year period expiring on the next ordinary local government election day unless otherwise indicated. Council members are requested to consider nominating as delegates and representatives on external committees and organisations for a 2-year period. Where a council member is to be appointed to an external body and there are more nominations than vacancies, the CEO is to conduct a secret ballot using the first-past-the-post system to establish the preferred delegate or delegates to fill the position. The CEO will explain the process for nominating and, if required, voting for committee members. The first committee that we will be looking at is the WALGA committee, which is the Eastern Metropolitan Zone, that requires 2 voting members and 2 deputies. Now we have a whiteboard where people have indicated their preference for these positions. Mr. CEO, would you like to? So the 2 voting delegates that have put their hand up thus far.
Councillor John and Councillor Long, and a deputy in yourself, Mayor Hamilton. So at this stage, I'll call for other nominations for that, but if there are no nominations from the floor, I can declare the Walga Zone delegates set as Councillor John and Hayden Long. Any more nominations from the floor?
Excuse me, Mr. CEO, is there supposed to be a second deputy?
Yes, there is. And as per last year, if there isn't, then I will be able to be a deputy or a proxy at that meeting as I was last year. So at this stage, what I will do is declare Councillor John and Hayden Long. Unless there's anybody that wants to talk against that, I will nominate those now and we'll vote on this at the end. Yep, so I'll pencil in Councillor John and Councillor Long as our members for the East Metropolitan Zone. Councillor Hamilton is our 1 deputy at this stage.
Councillors, are there any others who would like to put their hand up for the deputy role for that one?
Okay. That's fine, I can nominate myself for that under the Act. So, Councillor Ames, question?
Yeah, thank you, Cameron. Is there a scenario that, obviously we get through this discussion that we can sort of rejoin some dots and do some discussion after this, or does it all be set in stone for the committees tonight?
Tonight, what I can do though is we won't be voting on this individually. We'll go through and take nominations and then we'll vote en bloc once we've got, so if you want to come back to that, we can come back to that. Yeah.
I was just more so saying, like, for yourself, who might be a proxy as a deputy for the Walga Zone, if there was some change of heart after tonight, can that be reorganised for another councillor to jump into your proxy spot, or does everything have to be voted on and confirmed this evening?
I'd prefer it to be voted on and confirmed this evening, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the Walga one. The next one is the Walga Annual General Meeting, where I've put my hand up.
So we have 1 delegate at the moment, which is Councillor Hamilton.
So we require another delegate for that, which is once a year.
Just a question with that one there, if I may. Does that also require that particular delegate to attend the entire conference where the AGM is actually entwined?
No, so this is for the voting part, which is the annual general meeting voting, so you only need to attend for that particular session. Yep. It's just occurred, so it happens this time every year, sort of early October. on a Wednesday, I think it was Thursday.
Usually about 2.5 hours.
During the day.
Daytime.
Can you just give me 2 seconds? I might be able to be available for that. I'm just going through future rostering.
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy to jump into the AGM if required.
May I ask a question, Mr. CEO, on that one? If voting delegates with Walga, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past, if we haven't had a voting delegate available, we have been able to nominate another councillor on that particular event, correct?
That's right. So Walga themselves do ask about a week out for our nominees, and if the nominees that we actually have from tonight can't make it, then we do the call out to any councillor, and they are accepted by Walga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. CEO, I'd be happy to be the voting delegate of the Walga AGM.
Thank you, Councillor Ames. Given the deputies,
Ken John.
Oh, we do have deputies, great. So Councillor John can go straight in. Any further for the position of deputy? If there isn't, it's okay, because if we do require that position a week out from the AGM, we'll send out an email to all councillors requesting somebody to take that last position if required. And it's okay to have one voting delegate. You don't need to have two there.
Okay.
Some councils don't have any.
So, councillors, the next one I've got in the agenda, not on the board, is the Development Assessment Panel, which requires 2 voting members and 2 alternate members. So, the DAP. So,
Councillor Ames and Councillor...
we've got several
Carter.
there.
Oh, so we will be going to a vote?
You've got myself as the alternate. You've got Councillor Polifka as the alternate, so you've got alternate, but we could... Okay, so you've got Councillor Ames, Councillor Carter, Councillor Long, vying for the 2 positions as voting.
Okay, so councillors, in front of you there's a stack of voting slips. If you go to the DAP, which is the heading on your slip, at the moment we're going to take voting for the actual member rather than the alternate. So at this stage it's Councillor Ames, Councillor Carter and Councillor Long that are competing for 2 positions in that role. Yeah, 2 positions.
So,
2 members.
so they just write 2 names.
So just write 2 names, yeah. And then we'll come back and look at the alternate.
Can I have a...
Sorry, I'll pinch yours.
Okay.
Could I ask a question? Is this first past the post, or is this...
Yeah, first past the post.
But we're just putting the 2 names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So voting's finished. Dale will come around. Thanks, Dale. 7. So there's votes for Long and Carter, Ames and Long, Carter and Long, Ames and Long, Carter and Long,
You're popular.
Long and Ames, Carter and Long. So at this stage, it appears Hayley Long and Jenny Carter with 4 votes will be the DAP voting delegates. We've got 2 for optional, have we?
The alternates, myself and... Sorry, I'm trying to see. Councillor Plifka.
Madam Mayor, I'm happy to not be an alternative if that was something which Councillor Ames was minded to do, given that he had wanted to be an actual member. Happy either way.
Do you accept that, Councillor Ames?
Going to do that, might as well take advantage of that, so, yeah, okay, if you're more than happy to.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so just confirming that for the minutes, the 2 members for the DAP, Hayden Long, Councillor Carter. The alternate or deputies for that are Councillor Hamilton and Councillor Ames. Moving on to the audit and governance, is that correct, Madam Mayor?
And on the agenda, the next one you've got is the East Metropolitan Regional Council, EMRC, where you require 2 voting members and 1 deputy.
Okay, so again, it looks like we need to go to the vote because at the moment there's Councillor Ames, Councillor Hamilton, Councillor
Plifka.
John
Oh, yep.
and Paul Polifka, so 4 councillors vying for the 2 positions on the MRC.
All right, so we just put 2 names.
My understanding is the mayor is entitled to choose
Oh, that's right.
position. So if the mayor wishes to, there'll only be one that we have to vote for.
That's correct, yes.
That is correct under the regs, so therefore there's 3 people vying for 1 position, Councillor Polifka, Councillor John and Councillor Ames. So that voting slip will have EMRC written on the top. 1, yes, so just 1 vote against either Ames, John or Polifka. Dale, do you mind? Lucky number 7. That's it. I have 7 votes. 1 vote for Polifka, 1 vote for John, 1 vote for Polifka, 1 vote for Ames, 1 vote for Polifka, 1 vote for John, 1 vote for Polifka. So Polifka, Councillor Polifka with 4 votes will take the other seat at the East Metropolitan Council. Noting we've had Councillor Carter for the deputy, and we still have Councillor John and Ames that didn't receive the voting rolls. We will now go to the vote for one position? No, all positions, so two positions.
Are
There's three members.
are the two councillors going to put their hand up for the deputy role?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So calling for nominations now for the deputy for the EMRC. We have Councillor Carter as one. We require one more.
Councillor Ames.
Is it one?
Yeah, there's only one deputy role. You've got Councillor Carter, and Councillor Ames has just put his hand up.
All right, so sorry, I'm going to look right. It was from two from here. So we'll be using the voting slip for, hopefully there's two voting slips for EMRC because,
No?
no.
We could just cross out the Wales zone one.
Yeah, we could cross out the Wagga Zone one.
And put in,
So this is for the deputy role, is it?
Deputy
And
EMRC.
is it one position or two?
One. So you're just putting one name.
Ames or Carter? Dale, did you want to do that?
So the next one we've got on the agenda is order and governance.
Hopefully we don't have to vote. Oh, we've got three there. Oh, we need three, which is good. And one deputy. Not having a deputy yet.
So we haven't got a deputy yet.
Okay, thank you, Dale. This is the votes for EMRC
Deputy.
deputy, which is one. Count the votes there. Get them all over there. There's 7 votes. One vote for Carter, one vote for Ames, one vote for Ames, one vote for Carter, one vote for Carter, one vote for Ames, one vote for Carter. 4-3 to Councillor Carter for the deputy role. Thank you. We'll now move to the Audit
Audit
and
and
Governance
governance. So
Committee.
it's 3 plus 1.
3 plus 1. We currently have 3 in Talon, Councillor Carter and
Myself. And myself.
yourself, Councillor Hamilton.
No, you've got the wrong key.
I know, I'm looking
Okay.
at AG. Yeah.
Okay, so Councillor Burke, myself, and Councillor
Councillor Long.
Long.
Is there any, if there's no more nominations, then I'll declare those 3 members locked. Is there any nominations for the Audit and Governance before we close?
We need the deputy next.
Yeah, all right, just lock these in for now. So Audit and Governance, it'll be
Councillor Burke, myself,
Councillor Hamilton
and Councillor Long.
and Councillor Long. Looking for a deputy. Councillor John,
Okay.
current chair. Good, thank you, councillors.
Now, this one's not up on the board, the Complaints Committee. It's not on the board at all.
Okay. Can we do that here?
Remember, we're carrying on here until December, so this council needs to appoint a president or presiding member to the AFG,
Oh, okay.
because Councillor John is no longer with us. He's
Okay, so I've just been advised that we need to also adopt or elect a presiding member for the Audit and Governance Committee. So out of the 3 that have currently nominated, Councillor Burke, Councillor Long, Councillor Hamilton,
Could I nominate someone?
I'll be happy for you to nominate Councillor Long.
I would love to nominate Councillor Long because I think Councillor Long, as a new councillor, would benefit greatly from presiding over that particular committee. Actually, no, we've got an independent chair, haven't we? In the Audit and Governance.
The deputy is currently Sasha, who's the independent, but I understand under the new governance we have to have a chair who's an elected member. But I would just chiming in to say that I did enjoy the experience of chairing the Audit and Governance, learned a lot about meeting procedure, and it was a good opportunity for me, and I think it is the best committee for learning the ropes.
Yes.
So Councillor Long, do you accept your nomination?
Oh, just governance.
Sorry. Excuse me, Madam Mayor, but this committee will only have this appointed chair until the new audit risk and the new ARIC committee comes into place, where a independent presiding member will be needed to chair that group. So
When does that happen?
that should be once a local government reform has come has been enacted. We will need to
Yeah, 10 years.
we will need to adopt a new charter for the audit or the ARIC committee, and within that charter will be the requirement for the appointment of an independent presiding chair.
Thank you very much, Dale, for that.
Okay, so until then, Councillor Long is the presiding person. Thank you.
The Complaints Committee, which is not up there.
Complaints Committee, Dale?
That's because the Complaints Committee is made up of 4 members and 3 deputies. So basically the Complaints Committee is made up of all of the council, and those 4 members are asked to perform their duties when they are required. So I believe that we do need to have a nominations for those, and I apologise for not having that on the board.
Okay.
Okay, so Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, I'll be a committee member. A committee member. Hopefully this won't happen in the next 2 years anyway, because we're such a great council. So I'll put my hand up to be a committee member.
I'll put mine up.
Okay, so calling for nominations. I'll take the first 4 hands.
Yeah, well, you've got Ames,
Councillor Ames, Councillor Hamilton, Councillor Polifka, Councillor Burke. And then the other 3 councillors automatically become deputies. So just to explain how it works, if the complaint is made by one of the 4 or the complaint is against one of the current 4, the deputies, they recuse themselves and the deputies automatically step up. So that's how it works. Thank you. So for the minutes, did we?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we might go to Bassendean.
Local Emergency Management Committee.
Thank you. We have the requirement for 2, is that? And we have 2 currently. So we've got Councillor Ames and Councillor Carter on the blimp. And we need 1 deputy.
Look, I'm happy to be the deputy. I was the former chair of the Bloomic, so enjoyed my time on there and learnt quite a bit about the safety measures. But look, I think in terms of the best person to be presiding over that, it's definitely Councillor Ames. He knows all about these matters, and I think that that will provide value to the town, having somebody that speaks the same language as the emergency people, and I think that that's an additional benefit to the town. So I'm glad that those are the nominations, and I'm happy to be the deputy to assist Councillor Ames and Carter as they might need.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I just seek some clarity, Dale? Do we nominate 2 positions and the chair at this meeting, or is that done for blimp?
So Councillor Carter has indicated she just wants to be a member, and Councillor Ames has indicated he wants to be presiding.
Oh, okay. Good. So if we're all happy, Councillor Carter? Yeah.
Yeah, and Mr. CEO, I think that's actually decided upon at the first meeting. So, but we can obviously discuss that beforehand and lock it in.
I think
Or has it
what our
changed?
governance officer is saying, some regs have changed, and some committees require the entire council to vote on the presiding person now. But given that you have nominated for the chair and Councillor Carter has nominated to be just the committee member, I think that's fairly straightforward.
Correct. So, well, let's lock that in. Now, is there anything we haven't done?
Metropolitan Regional Road Group with no nominations. Can I ask a question about this one?
The Director, Asmus, might be able to assist us.
So given that this committee meets rarely, I know the agenda says they meet twice a year, but in my time, I actually cannot recall a meeting of this committee. Could you give me some indication of what the actual obligations are for this committee?
Yeah, certainly, Madam Mayor. So I think last year that we had 2 meetings. Councillor John attended those.
Okay.
I think Councillor Carter was the other member. So basically, it's goes about an hour and a half, and we discuss the projects, progress on how we're tracking with delivery of the projects. It's minuted, and those minutes just go back to Main Road. So it's really trying to keep on top of the projects that each council has to make sure they're delivered on time and budget.
And does each member council have a councillor on that committee, or is it only for a certain number of councils for the region?
No, so this is the East Region subgroup, which has those 5 or 6 councils on there.
Okay.
And typically we'd like to have a councillor from each council attend these meetings.
Okay.
A question, Madam Mayor, to the Director. So, Director, you attend these meetings?
I do. I actually enjoy them.
Well, look, the key piece of information that I needed was that you attend. So if you're going to attend, I'm happy to come along with you.
That's a date.
Councillor.
And if there's a deputy required, Mr CEO, Madam Mayor, throw him in.
Okay, so
There should be a deputy, shouldn't there? Yes, 1 delegate and 1 deputy.
It's called an alternate for this
Yep.
committee, so
okay, so Councillor Haynes will be the alternate, and Councillor Polifka will be the voting member. All right, so I think that covers it, but what we need to do now for the minutes, and because to get clarity, is to go through before we vote and to make sure that we've covered off on each. So we'll start again with the Wolga Zone. My notes advise that Councillor John and Councillor Long are the 2 members. The deputy at the moment is Councillor Hamilton, and we have a missing one, which I'm happy to take if nobody else wants to. Okay, so declare that won't be a councillor. The deputy will be Hamilton, and the CEO will act as a proxy. Wolga Annual General Meeting, we require 2. We have Councillor Hamilton and Councillor Ames. Deputy, we have Councillor John at present. If there's no appetite to fill the vacancy, that's fine, because if in case of need, we'll email councillors prior to a week out from the actual annual general meeting and seek somebody to act as the second proxy if required. Moving to the Eastern Metropolitan Regional Council, the 2 voting members are Hamilton and Polifka. The proxy is Councillor Carter. Do we have 2 for that?
Hang on a minute. Sorry, which one are we at?
EMRC.
Oh, sorry, it's going in different to what's in the agenda. Okay, apologies. Okay, EMRC, myself and Polifka, yep.
So we need 2 deputies,
No, it's just one.
One, so ignore that. So that's locked. Metro Inner Joint Development Assessment Panel, the 2 members, we voted on this. Dale, can you confirm the vote?
Councillor Long and Councillor Carter as the members,
Yeah.
and the deputy was Mayor Hamilton and Councillor Ames.
Thank you. Audit and Governance, Councillors Burke, Councillor Hamilton, and the presiding person, Councillor Long, with the Deputy Councillor John. Moving into Blemp, the presiding person is Councillor Ames, Councillor Carter is a member, Councillor Polifka is the deputy. The only one I'm missing here is the Complaints Committee. So for the minutes, Dale, do you mind reading those out? There was
Four members are Councillor Ames, Mayor Hamilton, Councillor Burke and Councillor Polifka, and the deputies are the other three councillors in Carter, Long and John.
Thank you. Before I ask to vote, does everybody agree with the way that we recorded those? Yeah.
Yep.
Over to you, Madam Mayor, but I would suggest maybe an en bloc.
Okay. Sorry?
MMRG, the...
You didn't read that one out, sorry.
No, sorry. So that was only the one, wasn't it? So it was Councillor Polifka.
And Councillor Ames was going to...
Councillor Ames is the deputy.
Okay, councillors, are you all happy with that, or do you want them read out again? No? Okay. So with that, councillors, I would like to move these en bloc, that council appoints the members that have been outlined to us to the external committees and the committees of council. Do I have a mover, Councillor Ames? Do I have a seconder, Councillor Burke? Do I have anyone against? I'll declare that carried. Thank you, councillors. That was a little bit longer, but nevertheless we got there. Councillors, will now move on to item 8.6, Code of Conduct for Council Members, Committee Members and Candidates. Mr CEO, did an officer wish to speak to this item?
No, only for the benefit of our new councillor, Councillor Long, is the Code of Conduct, which will be covered in your induction tomorrow, which applies to every local government member across West Australia, that we aspire to. The code is in your pack, and I would just request that councillors put this to the vote and move to the next item. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
I just had a quick question on that.
Yes, Councillor Plivka.
So obviously we all vote on that as elected members and say that's what we agree to be bound by. My question was in relation to candidates, so those that haven't agreed to that. To what extent can we impose that upon them, or are we limited by the Local Government Act? And if we are so limited, have we ensured that we've stayed within the bounds of the Local Government Act in terms of how we're trying to constrain candidates as opposed to elected members?
I might just seek some clarification before I seek advice. When you say candidates?
Yeah, so in the context of an election, so we sitting around this table, we agree to a code of conduct. So we're then bound by that because we've agreed. In the context of candidates, so those which have not been on council, so not previous councillors, somebody that was aspiring to be a councillor, would they be bound to the same extent, or is that limited to the extent that they're restrained by the Local Government Act? And I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going beyond what the Local Government Act does in terms of the restrictions that we can impose upon candidates that aren't already elected members or haven't been in the past.
So I think when it relates to candidates, I might take advice, but the returning officer or the Electoral Commission would be responsible for the behaviour and conduct of candidates during an election process. Outside of that, they are no longer candidates, so they're not bound by any code apart from common law, but I might seek further advice.
No, I understand that is correct.
Not sure that answers your question, but that's as we understand it.
Yeah, look, I think that's as far as we can take it, so happy to vote on it.
Okay. So, councillors, unless there's further questions, I'm going to put this to the vote that council adopt the Code of Conduct for council members, committee members and candidates. Do I have a mover for that item? Councillor Ames, seconder Councillor Carter. Anyone against? I'll declare that carried. So, councillors, we'll now move on to item 8.7, accounts paid for August 2025. I'm assuming I've not seen any questions come through on this item by email. Councillors, are there any questions before I actually take this to a mover and a seconder? Okay, councillors, can I have a mover for this item? Councillor myself, seconded Councillor Long. Do I have anyone against? I'll declare that carried. Councillors, the next item is 8.8, which is also the accounts paid for September 2025. Again, are there any questions on this item? Councillor Polifka?
Yeah, just in terms of the capital works, is that because things have been better than we had expected, or have we just delayed some projects?
Councillor Polifka, are you on the accounts paid for September or on the financials for the next?
Apologies, I've jumped the gun.
Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, so councillors, no questions on this. Do I have a mover for this item? Councillor Ames, do I have a seconder? Councillor Polifka, do I have anyone against? I'll declare that carried. Councillors will now move to the financial statements, which is 8.9, monthly financial report for September 2025. Mr. CEO, would you like an officer director to comment on this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to ask with respect the new director and or the finance manager to introduce this report and take you through the actual summary of the report, and then we can take questions before we vote. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO, and through the Mayor. I'm presenting to you tonight the September quarter. With these, we're on track at the moment. The variances are mainly due to timing, due to the September. There's no point looking at the August because it's already gone, but the September were due to variances is due to the timing. There's no issues that we've actually come to at the moment, and we've got an $8 million. I'll just refer you to the capital works, which we've got an $8 million budget there, and we're on track. Do you want to add anything?
Oh, just maybe a quick one. Thanks, Amanda. I think the key there is that there's also $3.4 million of committed funds. So that's where we've raised purchase orders and works haven't quite been completed. That's probably an important thing to note, even though it does say it's under budget at the moment, but the commitment's really significant. So it's a good result. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillors, are there questions on this item? No? Okay, so councillors, I will put this, first of all, I'll ask if there is a mover.
Happy
Councillor
to do so.
Polifka. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Burke. Do I have anyone against? I'll declare that carried. Councillors, we now move on to item 8.10, the 2026 council meeting schedule, which I know is riveting and is something that you all peruse with great attention. So, councillors, and I'm assuming the CEO does not wish to talk to this item. No. Okay. So, councillors, do I have any questions before we actually... Okay, do I have a mover for this item? Councillor Ames. Seconder, Councillor Long. Do I have anyone against? I'll declare that carried. So there is no confidential business. This brings us to the closure of tonight's meeting. I would like to thank one and all, the administration, the attendees in the audience, and our councillors, including our very new Councillor Long. Welcome, and you've enjoyed your first meeting. Thank you. So the next briefing session will be held on Tuesday, the 11th of November 2025, commencing at 6 p.m. The next ordinary council meeting will be held on Tuesday, the 18th of November 2025, commencing at 6 p.m. I declare this meeting closed at 7:20 p.m. Thank you, everyone.